And it looks like my camera got messed up. There we go. I don't know how that happened, but okay. There we go. Alright. We are here.
Are we?
We're live.
How about that?
Another week. Number 79, Frag Logic, joined by my boy, Colin, Skyless. What's up? Your camera, man. I gotta fix your camera.
Not much at all.
Just a little bit. Oh, hold on. Hold on, folks. Oh, you know what? Before we start this episode, you need to move this way.
Which way is this way? I see three different directions on my screen when you do that.
Your left.
My left?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that way I don't have to fix the camera. All right, sweet. So yeah, you guys need to let us know about the audio this week, because I maxed out the desktop volume, gave it a little boost to see if that would help things out. What? There we go. And I think it will. Should. There we go. So this week we're talking about a number of things. We got weekend gaming. We have Destiny beta. Skyless said that he played a little bit. Phobos played quite a bit. I played some with Phobos the last day of the beta, Colin. So we got some thoughts on that. We're going to talk about EA's Access program, which was just announced today. And I have some thoughts on Advanced Warfare. I've been kind of saying them here and there. I talked about them in my Titanfall video, which I played some. I played with Phobos too. I played that right after Destiny. So played a little bit of that. Going to be playing the DLC when that comes out. You gonna hop on at all?
Maybe.
Okay. So we start off every week with our weekend gaming. It's games that we played during the week since the last show. My list was Hearthstone. I should play some more of that. I played the DLC of it. Just started it, basically. Played Heroes of the Storm. Colin, you saw me play a match and get my ass whooped.
Twice.
But Bigness, no, not twice. I only played one match.
You watched two matches.
We won the second two.
Oh, I left midway through the second. You were losing though.
What do you mean? Me and Bigness won the second and the third. The third one, we just whooped them. Robocraft is the other game I was playing. A little bit of that, building some more stuff, blowing other people's shit to smithereens. Played Destiny, played Titanfall, and I think that's it. Those are all the games I played this past week. I went balls to the wall. As a matter of fact, on Sunday, I went from that Heroes of the Storm stream. No. I went from Destiny to Titanfall to Heroes of the Storm, all on Sunday. So I'm going nuts now, streaming and trying to get back into the groove. And I have videos uploaded into next week. That's how I'm back. I'm back, baby. Feels good. I just gotta get my office set up. Yeah, churning them out. What about you?
I played Dota. Lots of Dota. Played Destiny a little bit. I didn't play as much as you guys. I played to like level 6, I think. So I played like all the campaign stuff up into the Strike, which I tried a couple times, and that was it. Dota, and then a game called, I think, Velvet Sundown, I think is the name of the game.
The fuck is that?
Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, Velvet Sundown, which I watched because I saw a Giant Bomb Quick Look video, which was pretty fucking funny. So I downloaded it just to try it. And the game's like horribly broken. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Okay. Essentially, like if it worked properly and like they met their goal, it'd be like playing out like a murder mystery type game or a spy mystery yourself with other players is the premise. So like each of you gets a role and you have to try and accomplish something.
Right.
Through chat and stuff. But it's broken as shit. So again, like if you watch the Giant Bomb Quick Look on it, it's pretty cool. The game is Velvet Sundown. But I wouldn't recommend playing it.
What's up, everybody? What's up? How you doing? Welcome. Oh, one other thing I got is I got a new keyboard. I got a Logitech G510. No more clickety clack. I had to get rid of the clickety clack. It was just too much of that.
I'm all about the clickety clack.
Oh, God. Just too much. I do. Friday, I'm actually going to see Guardians of the Galaxy with the studio. Nice. They got us tickets for a midday show, so pretty excited about that. Well, I don't know if we technically get to leave work early rather than just leave work and then maybe go back to work after the movie's over. I don't know how long the movie is because we got 11:55 showtime because all the other ones are going to be probably sold out. So that's a little bit of that. I also want to see the movie Lucy. Have you seen the previews for that with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
I was kind of interested in that.
It wasn't getting great reviews.
Oh, I don't care. I still got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I might see it. I might just do like a crazy movie weekend because I want to watch the Planet of the Apes movie, which has gotten stellar reviews, and I really like the first one, the reboot, that was a few years ago.
Right.
So much Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Lucy.
Okay.
That might just be a triple header on Saturday.
I
spend all day at the theater.
Wait, just all day at the theater? Just leave one and then go to the other? Yeah, I feel you on that. I think Christy's off this weekend too, so yeah, I'm gonna have to force her to see something. Let's see, what else do we have on our list? What is you bringing up the mug?
See the color changing?
Light blue to dark blue?
No, the background. My color correction on my
Oh, I see it.
Is intense.
Damn.
That is really intense. See that?
That is pretty intense.
It was nice to caught my eye.
So before I get into Destiny stuff, the last thing I want to mention is, we were talking about the International and how many viewers they ended up getting. Valve announced that they had over 20 million with 2 million concurrent.
Yep.
So that's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. ESPN said they were happy too with the numbers they got for ESPN3.
That's good. I think the only thing with that is the comparison that there was with League of Legends, which they didn't beat that record. It's like 32 million peak.
Right.
So,
which isn't surprising considering the way the tournament format was.
Right.
And also the fact the matches weren't very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, I mean, if there was a couple other teams probably in the finals, I think they could have peaked really high.
If EG or Navi made the finals,
or
or DK even.
So, I mean, lots of good stuff out of that, and I just wanted to kind of hit that back up. So let's get into this Destiny review. I'm gonna let you go first since you said that you played less than me.
All right.
Beta impressions, thoughts. I think that's what I have it as. I don't want to call it a review because it's not. I don't fucking review games.
So I have the caveat. I didn't play any multiplayer. I think you had to be level 6 in order to unlock Crucible. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like 5.5, and I got bored and turned it off. But I did watch a bunch of multiplayer. I was watching Ninja stream. I was watching Game Sager for a bit. Was watching Danny play for a little while as well, and you. So yeah, I watched a lot of multiplayer, but I didn't play it at all. From watching, I didn't feel like I needed to, because I wasn't a big fan of the campaign side of things. It felt really kind of contrived, like the missions to me. It was kind of like, oh no, we need to get to the end of this hallway. Essentially, every single mission was like, get to the back of this hallway, and then you fight a boss, and you're done. But the bosses were really just bullet sponges, right? Like almost every single boss that was in there was a bullet sponge.
Yep.
So like, I didn't enjoy that. It felt very like MMO quests, more so than like a well-polished campaign like other Halo games have been, for example. I didn't feel like I was being driven from area to area by anything that was tied together. It was like the fact you get to an end of a dungeon and it does the 30-second thing and then you're gone. Like, that sucks from a, like, FPS campaign perspective. Because at one point you have to go through this building, you fight this boss, you get sent back, and then the very next mission sends you through that building again, like walking back to where you were before, and then moving past a couple more rooms and then fighting again.
Right.
When the ships are coming in, they're dropping all the enemies at the door. So like, if that was a campaign, it would have tied it all together, right? Like it would have made it all one seamless transition going through. But because they're building it so that it's like replayable, in the sense that you want to like play those missions over and over again for drops, I guess. But there weren't really that many drops in the game, which is the other thing. So it felt really weird to me, and I didn't enjoy the combat enough to feel pulled in by that. Like, again, everything felt like a bullet sponge. It didn't feel like the enemies were that unique because you just kind of shot them, and then they would like juke sideways or blink behind a wall or something. But at the end of the day, like they weren't maneuvering actively to get better positioning. They were just kind of like slowly walking towards you. So that was my overall thoughts. I didn't get to use a lot of the weapons. Overall, I thought they felt pretty samey. Like the plasma rifle and the assault rifle are really similar. Carbine didn't feel like great to shoot, in my opinion. The scout rifle, I guess, is what it was. Sniper felt like a sniper. Equipment stuff felt kind of unresponsive. The one thing I will say is the world building and the art direction and everything, fucking fantastic. And like the animations look super polished. I think the game visually looks incredible. I think that the story they can do a lot of interesting stuff with. It was kind of hard because it's like there's lots of comparisons between Covenant and Flood in there, where the Hive are like very clearly the Flood, and the Fallen are very clearly the Covenant. And I just wonder if they're going to eventually get to the Forerunner stuff they never got to with Halo 4. Like, it's just like, yeah. If aside from that, like everything was really good. I think you can probably do some really cool stuff with the world stuff and planet jumping and everything. But the core gameplay loop isn't fun to me. The multiplayer that I watched, I'll let you speak more to it. It seemed okay. I saw some pretty cool, like the best players stood out. Regardless, the shooting felt a little sloppy to me. From what I saw in my own experiences, it was like almost like there isn't enough aim assist. I know I'll be like crucified for saying that, but people's aim was all over the place, and people that I know have very good aim. Sometimes shots weren't registering. It seemed like maybe that was actually the core issue. It's just that they weren't hitting because they should have been hitting. Or in other games, magnetism would have kicked in. So. Yeah, I guess that's my general impressions. The mode sucks. Like, the idea of that mode sucks, in my opinion, as well. I don't know if you saw the video, the point control, the domination TDM hybrid. What it's called. What is it called? It was the one that was in the alpha.
The one I played? Iron Banner?
No, that's
just straight up domination.
Yeah, it's the one where you hold points, and then you get more points for kills if you hold the points.
Oh, no, I don't know that one.
It was the one which they had in the alpha. But
okay.
Like Flamesword posted a video, they won a game without taking one of the points at all.
Just killing people?
They just killed everyone.
Wow.
They had like a 3 or 4 KD average.
Control is what Dre is saying.
Control, yeah.
Okay. I didn't play that. Alright, well.
So there's my notes.
Woo! Damn, just Alright, so
I went into it not that excited for the game. After playing it, I still wasn't sold on it. I'm going to pick it up regardless. I want to see where it goes. But I wasn't sold by the beta. And I wasn't pulled in to play more.
So, chat, what do you want me to start off with? Because Colin kind of hit us with just bad. Do you guys, I mean, he has some animation stuff in there. Do you guys want me to start with the bad, or do you guys want me to start with my version of the good? Because I think we disagree on a couple things overall. But for the most part, like campaign stuff, I agree with you with. So good or bad, chat? Good or bad? What do you guys want me to start with? Want me to hit them hard? Hit them where it hurts first? Colin is the destroyer of dreams. Start with the good. Alright. So for me, I felt like from a beta standpoint, this is probably one of the most polished overall betas I've ever played, and I think that's a testament to what Bungie can do. in any circumstance, pretty much. You know, I know they have a lot of resources for this game. I believe they had something like a 500-man team, if I'm not mistaken, to get this game to where it's at. So, you know, from looking back at when we saw gameplay like 6 months ago to now, I mean, it looks like a game you could have played 6 months ago and be like, fuck, this is a great game. Or this is a very polished game. I'm going to say, not great game. Let me say polished is what I mean to say. This is a very polished game, even in this early stage. So I think Bungie does a nice job, start to finish, of making games that just work, right? For me, from the control standpoint, I felt like everything was pretty tight. There was a couple things that I think maybe could have felt a little bit better. I think you're right on the aiming just a little bit. Like sometimes it feels a little bit off, and I'm not sure if that's network stuff. But I mean, every time I was lining up shots, dude, I was dropping people. Like it just didn't matter, right? And I was saying that in a video I released this past week. Like, you know, I've seen people talking about the net code. And hell, you know, when we first talked about Ninja playing the alpha or whatever 2 months ago, looked like he was lagging, but I mean, he was still pretty much dominating. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's something that's great, obviously, but it's certainly something that is manageable, and I think is pretty much the norm with any online game. So I wasn't like terribly distraught about the network latency or anything that I played on, but I hadn't seen the worst of it, so I don't know what the bad really feels like. It was certainly, like you said, great animations, dude. I mean, they have some of the best animations out, just period. Like animations felt fluid, things are really polished. I love the particle effects. I love like you said, the art direction and general vibe, and graphical quality is just amazing, right? It is awesome. And what's odd to me is like I had people comment on the video I put out this week, and they were saying things like, yeah, the graphics were just average. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? Really? Like, what are you comparing it to? What is the bar right there? Because the game looks fucking amazing. I can only imagine, like, if they put it on PC, what the fuck it would look like. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know how anyone could be like, oh man, that game looks average. Like, what? Come on. People, you're just hating at that point. You might as well just be hating.
I guess they don't do a lot of stuff with like photorealistic characters or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all fantasy and relatively from a distance. So I can see some of that stuff. But the environment art is freaking incredible.
It looks awesome. The only thing I feel like from a graphic standpoint that, or just an engine standpoint that they could do that make it any better is add like destructible things to the environment. Like I smacked this glass on Moon, and I didn't fall through the glass. Like I should have been able to fall through the glass. I felt like because I could definitely shoot people through the glass, but I couldn't fly through this one glass. I was kind of upset about that. Let's see. I feel like the multiplayer feels pretty solid overall. I need to play more of the game types. I need to see more of the maps. I'm trying not to get in on the bad, but let me just say Venus is pretty good. Moon, whew, I'm gonna get on that in a second. But I also, Colin, the vehicles feel good.
Like, vehicles felt pretty good. Yep.
Summon a vehicle, move it around, like it felt responsive. I love the pod racer sound from Star Wars. Sounds good.
Feels different too. It feels loose. You know what I mean? Like,
it feels slightly different now. When you shoot, if you played a multiplayer, you have the one, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called a pike or a Reich, something like that. It's like the basically the two-wheeler of the pod racer that you have, but it just shoots plasma versus the like tank Scorpion or whatever it is. It felt very responsive, but it also has this like side strafe with left and right bumper. Dude, oh man.
Which does
well, it just scoots it to the left or right. Okay. So it's like a hard strafe. Man, dude, I was wrecking people when I got in that. So I mean, I really like what they did with the vehicles. They feel good, but that specific thing feels very much like the Ghost once you kind of look at things and kind of how it moves. So, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of comparisons there with the vehicles that they'll hopefully introduce and the ones that they have now to Halo. So I think there's going to be a lot of overlap there with like, this feels like the Covenant, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I think the vehicles felt pretty good. Overall, I'm anxious to see what else they have. But I think that's pretty much where it stops for me. And then I'm gonna try to get in the back. So I hope that was enough good for you guys. I hope you guys can agree with most of that, what I said. The game feels really polished for being in a beta. Great controls. It feels like it's gonna be a pretty good shooter. Oh, here's one more good thing. I think it's gonna be a fantastic experience for PlayStation users who have shit to play for shooters. I'm just being upfront with you guys. Like, I feel like, okay, Killzone is average. If you want to count Uncharted, which is phenomenal, that's a good game. But like, they don't have any first-party shooters on PlayStation that really stand out. So Destiny's going to be like a big hit on the PlayStation. So that's what I think is probably going forward, and that's what I think they probably were banking on with all that promotion with PlayStation. Now that I actually thought about it, got to play it, because when it comes out on Xbox, dude, it's going to come up against the shit that everybody wants to play, and I just feel like it's gonna fall to the wayside. Now, here's where the bad starts for me. So let's go into PvE, campaign, AI. Colin, you mentioned the side strafing shit that the dudes were doing and the teleporting. I just felt like those were average AI experiences for me. Like, just bullet sponges for the most part for all the bosses. I died a couple times, most of which were on Devil's Lair. I think all of which. No, all of which. Under level? All of which were on Devil's Lair. But no, it's not because I was under leveled. I could have beat that thing by myself. It was because I was with fucking idiots. Like, my experience was with idiots. And, you know, I had a lot of people say, well, 90% of the time they play with great people and you just had a bad experience. That's fine. But I'm just saying, this is what I play. I hopped into Devil's Lair. I shit you not, dude, I had 3 people in the very first area. You know, that like big square box that you come into, the snow portion of it before you get to the boss. So I had 2 dudes running around in a circle in this giant square, hopping up and down, not moving forward. So then another 2 came down. We went straight forward into what is the first one? The bike, or the like robot tank thing with all the legs, I think is the first one. All right, so we're on this mission. One guy goes into a corner, like, and he's like shooting in the legs. He dies a couple times. I revive him over there, and then he goes AFK for 25 minutes. And it literally took 25 minutes to kill that fucking thing with 2 people because the other dude just kept dying.
Like, it would have taken you 10 minutes of shooting at a mostly stationary target anyways. That's my complaint.
It's like, come on. Like, why is this? I mean, he wasn't really killing me. It was just like ridiculous that they had that thing beefed up so much that it took that long for me to complete it when I had to deal with 2 idiots just to revive them back and forth. Like, that was annoying. And then you get to the sphere and it's almost the same thing, right? Like, it's just a bullet sponge. So that
sphere did nothing interesting. It did absolutely nothing interesting.
Yeah,
it did nothing. There's nothing interesting about that fight. There's absolutely nothing. Like, they have this whole room to work with, and all it does is it just floats there and shoots at you whenever it sees you.
I will say that the AI generally felt me wanting more. Like, this is supposed to be this, like, Destiny and Bungie. Like, I felt like they just needed to bring something to the table that was vastly different. Like, and this is what I said in the video. You think about Halo 1, you think about that experience was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Halo 2 introduces multiplayer that we had not pretty much seen ever. Halo 3 introduces theater mode, Forge, all this transformative stuff for console gaming. And then we get Destiny and it doesn't feel like it is doing anything that is going to transform my idea of what is possible within the game. Like, I don't feel like Bungie did anything innovative as of right now with the beta. So I feel like it's a, like you said, the story and the campaign is very disconnecting, right? You finish a mission in this open world that's super vast where you have to redo things and run through the same area back and forth. Why would you, at the end of a mission, send me back to a loading screen to let me see all my stats rather than just like letting me walk back out of into the open world and take an orbit and do whatever I want. Like, I would rather they lean more towards Borderlands side rather than having this mix mash between having story-driven missions and this huge open world that you have to redo over and over again, a la Diablo or something like that. So I felt like that probably, I'm going to agree with what you said there. It's kind of disconnecting to have that flow, and I don't really understand why it's necessarily like that. But the big thing for me in the campaign is just the AI. Like, it's just not very good for me. And I would rather have something that a little bit more challenging rather than saying, okay, we're going to buff up the health and then let me throw more enemies at you. That'll make it difficult. From a multiplayer side, look, I don't really have too many gripes with the multiplayer. I mentioned the netcode is something that a lot of people were talking about. The thing that bothers me is, like, I'm worried about the consistency of the maps, right? Like, if I had to play, like, if Moon is one of the staple maps, I don't think I want to play too much Destiny because I didn't really enjoy that map. If Venus is the staple map, I think it's something that I would lean more towards and, like, I would enjoy that. Not to say that I don't like big open maps. I just feel like though that particular map wasn't very good, and it could have been with that specific game mode, right? Like, you could have, like, people were like, maybe it's just the vehicles in it. Maybe there were just too many. I don't know what it was. It felt a little off. That's the best way I can put it. Like, it just felt, the flow of it felt a little weird. When people were talking in chat, they were like, oh my God, I hate Moon. So it was like, I played Moon one time for anyone that watched, and I immediately, after I got done playing that map, I was like, I don't want to do that again. That's not fun. So, I mean, I only need it once, and then I played it obviously more times, and it was just like, ugh, this is not a very fun map. So, I'm hoping that there are a very good mix of maps that are, one, memorable, and two, feel like they have a pretty good flow and balance. I'm trying to think about anything else with the multiplayer that kind of bothered. Golden gun with the hunter seemed a little cheap, and again, I think people have to. I didn't really have any problems with the Titan ground pound or someone using the Warlock special, which was that
Warlock special was awful compared to the others.
Right.
It was so bad. It was like a one-shot golden gun with the charge.
It was so difficult to use, and I heard people like, "Oh no, you don't understand. Like, because the Warlock gets you in an AOE and he can kill multiple people on a point, it's so much better." And I'm thinking, like, how many times? And I played quite a few matches. I only saw like 3 people in a hill once. One time, and I got the kill with the special. It was one time though, once, not 30 times, not every time I ran to a hill. One fucking time I saw 3 people in a hill and I was able to get a multi-kill. That's it. That's it. Versus a golden gun where you're running around, you get a special, you see 3 people, boom, boom, boom. You see 3 people, boom, boom, boom. Like, come on. I don't even see how anyone in their right fucking mind can say those two are even remotely fucking comparable, because they're not. They're just not. Any way you fucking put it. I saw, let me emphasize this again. I saw 3 people. One time. One in a hill. One time. I don't know how many times I got killed by the golden gun. I got killed by the golden gun like 20 times. One time. 3 kills, guys. Come on. 1. Alright, so I feel like the golden gun is a little cheesy. Heard some people talking about the cooldown is a little bit longer on it. Fine. But you activate it, you get 3 kills instantly. Like, it's a Boltok with... it's a golden gun. It's a guaranteed kill. Guaranteed kill. The hunter or the warlock's thing is pretty hard to aim it, time it. Like, there's a lot more that goes into that. And I didn't use the Titan's ground pound, and I didn't die to it either, so I have no idea what that's like.
One thing which Game Sager brought up, and he posted a forum thread where everyone was arguing with him, but your accuracy in the air fucking sucks. To a point where it really punishes, like, skilled play, I guess. Since that was usually, like, that was the one way to set yourself apart other than, like, who saw who first. Like, it was headshots and then air movement, right?
Right.
So, like, the accuracy being in the air not being very good lowered the skill gap was his argument, and I think I agree.
Kinda. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like terribly distraught by the accuracy in the air. A lot of times, I had like a fully automatic weapon, and I would double jump above people and like spray at them and kill them. Generally speaking, I wasn't trying to do any like mid-air snipes. Yeah, I wasn't trying to do snipes jumping and stuff like that, like quick scope jumping, which maybe I would probably get a little upset if I can't do that. Because I was using the sniper quite a bit. That was my secondary. Is it called a heavy weapon? That was my heavy weapon, and yeah, I got quite a few kills with that. The purple, what is that? Is that your special ammo? So my special, my special weapon was like the machine gun, and whenever I got it and took it out, like I was ripping people up, but more often than not, I didn't find myself like specifically going for that ammo. I don't know why. I just
LMG was
it was pretty ridiculous.
It was like win every single encounter you get in for the next 100 some bullets.
It's pretty damn good. I don't know why I didn't use it more. I mean, the few times I did use it, I ripped people up. So it was just something I wasn't really going for. I was trying to get showboating a little bit with the snipe, and I think the one thing that's kind of throwing me off, and I think it's a good thing because of how the grenades work, they linger very, very long. But when you die, you don't get your grenade back, right? So for whatever reason, in all the other games that I play, I'm used to dying and having like my nades again. So I would die, respawn, and then I try to throw my nade, and I'm like, fuck. I must have done that like 30 times, just out of habit. Just die. Okay, I got my nade back. Oh, I don't have my nade. And then I die because, I didn't have it ready.
I think that's part of what was bothering me about the single player, was that like, usually grenades are how you weed things out of cover, and the grenade cooldown was so long that like you rarely had the grenade. So it was like lots of like slowly walking around the corner until you could shoot at the guy. Like compared to like Halo's combat loop was very much grenade based. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you throw a grenade to weed someone out of cover, and then you shoot them, and then you do that over and over and over. But with the cooldown, it was really not there. I guess because they're built for people having 3 people together. I imagine is why that's the case. But it's still, it's like it really slowed down progression solo.
The other thing is, what is it like at higher levels, right? So it's like I hope that stuff gets the cooldown on it. At least in single player is a lot faster.
Level cap's 20, which is really low.
There's a quote saying about the content. Oh, by the way, I need to find the quote. Hold on, let me think about it for a couple seconds. There was a question that was asked to Bungie with regards to. I know what it was. So, okay, so you know how you have this vast planet Earth. This is going to go back on campaign. This is a point which you guys really need to think about it, because the question was super dodged, right? So someone asked Bungie if they have more than one like area in a specific planet, right? So old Earth just had old Russia, right? That's all you could play, and then you could move on to the next area. That's all that's on Earth is Russia? That's it? What happened to everything else? So that question got asked, and the answer was, we have plenty of content in the game. You guys have, don't worry, we're going to be supporting the people that play our game for a long time, very, very much. And I'm paraphrasing.
Well, here's the exact quote. If we're fortunate enough to have you playing months after launch, you'll still find lots of compelling stuff to do that will manifest itself in a myriad of ways, from straight-up content to cool activities we'll have to show off. So,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. Exactly. But my question was, are there more than one places on the destination Earth and Venus and the Moon, or is there just one? Oh, no, you didn't answer that question. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so here's what surfaced shortly after. There's 5 planets, or 5 worlds, I don't know what you want to call them. 5 planets, the Moon is the smallest one. What you saw from Earth, that was everything. Obviously, some areas you couldn't access because you weren't high enough level, or you couldn't get to that area of the map, or if you kind of explored a bit, you could find some of those areas where you can't really do them yet. But for the most part, that was Earth in the beta. So then you have the Moon, which is smaller than Earth, they've confirmed. And then you have 3 more. And level 20 is the cap. And then I guess the rest of it's coming later. Was essentially what they said.
I read that and I was a little upset at that the answer to that question, because it was very much so a dodgy question that I felt like could have been. I felt like that's one that should have been just straightforward answered, yes or no. Do you have more than one destination on the planet Earth? Oh, no? You only have old Russia? That kind of sucks.
It's because the answer is no, and they can't really say it. Well, also, if you remember when they first showed Destiny, they did that same crap that all these open world games do, where they look out into the distance, and they're like, see that mountain over there? You can go there. If you see it, you can go there. That's what they said when they first announced Destiny. And people pointed out the specific part of the skybox that he was pointing to, A, you can't get there, and B, they just removed it entirely from the skybox. So, obviously you can't go anywhere in the beta, and you won't be that way in the same game, in the full game.
I didn't even know they said that, Colin. I didn't even know they said that.
Yeah. So, like, they had all these mountains in the distance. Like, yeah, if you see it, you can be there. But the game is really that world space wasn't that big. It was like maybe a single player reach level big, maybe a little bit bigger.
See, and this guys is why we had talked about this, Colin. We said it about 5 weeks ago, I think. We were like, we saw some people playing Destiny, and we're just like, man, I'm just not as hype about the game anymore. And it's like bit by bit, chipping away at that hype armor that they had, just chipping away at it, guys. And that, there's some stuff in there that listen, I'm gonna get the game. I'm gonna be upfront. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm gonna get the game. There's two questions that I had that I raised in my video. What is Destiny's identity, right? What is gonna set it apart from a Halo, from a Borderlands, from all of the other big titles that are coming out? And is this the type of game that you see yourself playing, 300-400 hours in it, or picking up for like a couple weeks and being like, okay, I finished that, now I'm done. Oh shit, Halo's out. Oh shit, such and such is out on Xbox. Gears of War is out. Oh shit, Call of Duty's out. Let me go hop on that. And then you just kind of leave Destiny, because that's what I kind of feel like is going to happen. There might be some people that stick with it, but I don't know if this game is going to have the legs to go the distance anymore. I just don't. And initially I thought, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And the more I played, the more I see how they're doing things, the more they answer questions like that with the dodgy responses. I'm kind of like, I don't know. So, we'll see. Like I said, I plan on getting it, but it's like, I don't know if this is going to be something that I can play for a long term. Type of game, And the other thing I have a major problem with that, and I brought this up earlier, was Bungie is typically known for innovating, and in my opinion, they've done very innovative things with the Halo franchise, multiplayer, all that stuff, and this game doesn't feel innovative to me at all.
No, not at all.
So, give or take, you guys can give your own feedback to it, but I just, I don't know, man. That's my kind of, I'm just kind of up in the air about it. Like, the only game where I know I can if I see a planet, Colin, I can go there is No Man's Sky. That's the only game I feel like playing. So, they came out and they said the beta was a great success, tremendous success actually. They said they learned a lot from it. I imagine we'll see some netcode improvements. I imagine the game will continue to improve over time. I'm just worried about whether or not they can actually keep the players in the game for that period of time over the next couple years or so. So we'll see.
We'll see. It could be one of those games that is really worth revisiting 3 or 4 years from now when they're done making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And they do a collector's edition that has everything packed together.
Yeah.
For $60.
Yep. So next up, we got EA announcing their Access program. And if you guys don't know anything about this, hold on, let me... here's the link. Grab that link for you guys. This is from Polygon. So it's a subscription-based program. I believe it's $4.99 a month or $29.99 for the year. I want to say. Are those the two prices that they gave?
24.99, yeah.
$24.99. Okay, so basically,
no, sorry, it's 30. The old season ticket thing was 25. Yeah.
Oh, okay, $30. So
$30 annually.
So basically, this is going to include 4 games, and this is in beta. The initial one is going to have FIFA 14, Madden NFL 25, Peggle 2, and Battlefield 4. And basically, you can play those games for $4.99 a month right now, or whenever they launch this thing for the beta. You're also going to get early access to trials for Madden NFL 15, NHL 15, NHL...
FIFA.
FIFA 15, NBA Live 15, and Dragon Age Inquisition. This is 5 days before retail release, so it's kind of like a try before you buy, basically. Now, here's what I think this is actually a pretty good thing, right? My issue is these games right now aren't ones that I would necessarily play, but if they decided to take this a little bit broader, and let's say they said, hey, for $14.99 a month, we're going to give you all the EA Sports titles, the brand new ones, and we're going to give you Battlefield, and we're going to give you a couple other games, then I might be like, I can get all that shit for $14.99 a month? I think then it becomes something that is really compelling. And the best thing I can liken it to is Netflix, right? So I would be really, it would be hard not to convince. And I haven't played Madden in a fucking long ass time. I haven't played Madden in 10 years. 9 years since I've played Madden title. I would be very compelled to play all of those games at least once to try them for $14.99 a month. Like if you gave me that, I'd be like, oh, what? Seriously? So I'm kind of wondering if this is the model that, like, this is the beta, so they're testing the waters on this program kind of kicks off. I would be kind of interested in this.
I think it's a really good service. Like $5 a month, like that was my game rental allowance. You know what I mean? Like I'd get one game for a week, realistically, and instead I get access to 4 or 5, presumably more eventually, for that full month for the same money I would have spent on a rental at Blockbuster.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Like, that's a good deal. $30 a year, like, that's cheap as shit. And, like, even looking at this, I was like, alright, so if I didn't have Battlefield 4, this would be much more compelling, and I'd be like, okay, let's do it. But then I was looking at this, and like, you know, if I had it, I'd probably play Peggle through and finish it. I'd probably pick up NFL Madden just because I haven't played it in ages, and it's like, hell, why not?
Right.
It's stuff that I wouldn't buy normally, but I would be down to play. Even FIFA, it's like the whole card ecosystem thing they have going on. I'd want to play that just to see what it was like, you know? So, like, all 4 games on that list, I'd be interested in playing, but I wouldn't purchase, you know?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Like, I wouldn't purchase outside my niche, which is shooters. So, like, Battlefield I bought, but I wouldn't purchase the other ones. So it's smart from that aspect. My concern is that they're going to segue this into piecemealing the games more and doing a free-to-play type approach.
That's a pretty big concern.
It's like, hey, we can get all these players for a low fee, but we're not making very much off of it, so how can we make it so we make more? Like Battlefield 4, they have Season Pass, DLC. FIFA and Madden both have microtrans stuff now with the card stuff that they're doing. Peggle 2, they could easily release new stages, new characters, so on and so forth, where they're just giving you the base level game and then piecemealing everything else on top of it, which is what I really think this is about. That's what I really think it's about.
Well, here's the thing, and feel free, and I'm very interested to see how many people in the chat actually play EA games, and, you know, I was thinking about how many EA games I probably buy per year. Outside of Battlefield, I don't really think Mass Effect? Is that EA? That's EA.
Yep.
So when Mass Effect came out and Battlefield came out, those would be, if they came out at the same time, those would be the only 2 games I buy. So you're going to get $120 out of me, right? $128 out of me for your games. If they put it at a price point like $9.99, they're going to get more than that. I think they're going to get $90 a year out of me as a consumer, and you can let me play all of these other games, and oh hey, maybe I'll purchase some in-game stuff like some cosmetic stuff, or hey, maybe I'll purchase this DLC or something like that. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. I think actually you get more money out of this subscription service than if you just left it solo. I probably buy on average 2 EA games if they're compelling enough, Battlefield being one of them, per year. So I think that this would actually be a pretty good deal to get more money out of people that wouldn't normally buy specifically EA Sports titles, because I feel like a lot of them fucking fell off the map. Like EA Sports, do you remember It's in the Game? Like that shit was hot 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but like now it's like I don't even play that. So
there's lots of sports fans also that are like also casual fans of other games or of other sports. So like it makes sense to be like, hey, you can play last year's NHL game. Maybe you'll get interested and purchase the most recent one just because you played the previous year's installment. So it makes sense a lot.
Gonna say don't
especially
forget
for the sports
Titanfall.
guys.
That's a good point. I forgot about Titanfall. But yeah, I mean, Colin, this is a banging deal, and I think that I hear you on your concerns, but I would rather than just if you gave me $9.99 a month, just like I'm paying for Netflix, and you get more money out of me than you would otherwise, I don't see why this wouldn't be a go-to choice. And I think you probably keep more developers in business, like you keep more studios open with this approach. Hey, I'm just saying. I think if you're a publisher with studios under you, not if you're like an independent studio trying to make a game. No, that's not what I mean. Obviously. What do you? I mean, Colin. I feel like here's the other caveat, right? They're coming out with all these Star Wars games, and I think they're going to automatically make some bank. So maybe it comes out after the Star Wars games release, right? So maybe they do this subscription model after they say, okay, we got our big bang. We got a $240 out of Mr. Smith this year. Let's cool it. Let's go ahead and put the subscription service in place.
I mean, I'm sure it's them realizing that after the first few months of a game's release, they don't make very much money off of it in sales. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that makes perfect sense. They're like, yeah, 1 year after a game is out, we're not selling it anymore. We might as well throw it into a subscription service and get something out of it, and kind of build a community around our games. So, like, I just wonder... I feel like it's not even targeted at people like you and me. You know what I mean? Like, in the sense that, like, if we're going to buy a game, we're going to buy it day one or week one. But at the same time, like, again, I might play some of those games that are in the service.
So here's where this is going to branch off a little bit. Now, think about how many other I think publishers could probably do something like this. Activision is probably one of them. The other one I think that is pretty compelling, that just it seems like it just makes sense because every game that they've made is pretty much a knockout, is fucking Blizzard. Now they have, 2 free-to-play games, right?
Yeah.
You have Diablo, World of Warcraft, and what am I saying? I said this is the free-to-play. Heroes of the Storm is the other one I'm thinking of. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they said, okay, for $4.99, what would you get? You get Diablo, and what's the other? StarCraft 2 is what I'm missing. StarCraft 1.
Which they already have a free trial for.
And something else. I think it might work. It's hard because they already have free-to-play games thrown into the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they could realistically probably go free-to-play with a lot of their stuff.
Yeah. So I mean,
and it's also all tied together with Battle.net. So like,
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. And then you just mentioned the Steam subscription. Like, you think about some of that, it's like, all right, what Steam? Hey Valve, if I gave you $15.99 a month, how would that affect how many games I can get and who would be on board? Like, how does that rev share work for the developers to keep doing that?
Right.
So
I don't think it works out with Steam.
I don't. But it could be like Valve title. Well, no, they're all fucking free to play.
Yeah, and most of the other ones are part of like a free deal or something right now.
So would it be like Counter-Strike and Left 4 Dead 2?
I think they gave away Portal at one point, Portal 1.
Damn.
I think Left 4 Dead they gave away as well at some point.
Well, it almost works. It almost works.
I think that realistically, it's just EA doesn't want to go full free to play on some of this stuff, and this is them testing the waters.
JM, you said GameFly, and I was thinking about GameFly as a service. I don't think they didn't have widespread adoption. So even if they did it first, this is not an area where they would capitalize on it because there's not a lot of people that have GameFly.
I mean, it's similar to Netflix. Like, Netflix's physical service is dying.
And there's also OnLive is the other thing I was thinking of.
Because online just makes so much more sense nowadays.
If you remember OnLive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other one I'm thinking of that, you know, I certainly think it's damn compelling, especially for someone like EA who traditionally sells $60 box products, to have something like this in their lineup, in their repertoire.
I'm just kind of surprised EA did it. It's
kind
of progressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like an EA move, but hey, I mean that the new CEO said he's community first. This is a big community move.
Yeah.
So I will say, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually impressed. So
it's all gonna be through Origin, though.
Yeah, that sucks, but hey, I already have Origin because they got me with Battlefield 4.
They're gonna find a way to have an Xbox One Origin. I'm convinced.
I don't think so. So tonight, I'm also, I want to know on YouTube too, how many of you guys are actually interested in the EA Access program, especially if they, add on to it outside of the 4 games for this beta. Is it something that you would get into for $4.99 a month, or would you just go ahead and pay the $30? I'd probably go ahead and pay the $30. Let's see here. Topic was, Advanced Warfare. I want to put the whole quote in there. Not the same Call of Duty. So, you want to start with this? New video.
Zip lines.
Zip lines?
Or grappling hook. I don't know what you want to call that. I think it's a grappling hook.
Grappling hook? Grappling hook is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can play
Hardline zip lines. That was a grappling hook.
I'll see if I can play this video.
Sure.
I'll pull it up while you talk about it.
Yeah, so they did a story video for Call of Duty, explaining like the plot and everything. Showed a little bit of like rendered gameplay and then a multiplayer tease at the end. Multiplayer tease showed a guy like doing this crazy jump backwards, and they're doing multiplayer reveal next Friday, which I can only assume will be full of YouTubers. Is that safe to assume?
I would say so.
Or at least they'll use some YouTuber to reveal?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
I think the game looks pretty good, to be honest. The bit that I've seen.
Do you feel bad saying that? It sounds like you feel bad saying that.
I feel bad saying it. I feel even more bad and blasphemous. I don't know if Primo's still in chat, but Primo will...
I'm about to play the video.
Primo will yell at me, but I'm more excited for this than Destiny, currently.
Ooh.
I never thought I'd ever say that shit.
Ooh.
I never thought I'd say it.
It was the first global terrorist attack in history. They struck nuclear reactors on 5 continents simultaneously. And in an instant, threw our world into chaos. With our government and military crippled, we turned to a private military company called Atlas.
Atlas has the single largest standing military in the world, but we answer to no country.
They fought our wars. They rebuilt our cities.
The truth is, we often find that we're more effective than the governments that hire us.
We gave them an immense amount of responsibility. And with that, an immense amount of power.
We are going in.
An operation on foreign sovereign soil, it would be an act of war without congressional approval.
Atlas is an internationally registered private company. We don't need Congress. Ideas don't determine who's right. Power determines who's right. And I have the power. So I'm right.
Your mic's on mute if you're trying to talk.
There we go. Good now?
I saw you wildly gesturing.
So yeah, that was the only thing I was really excited about was
Did you show the multiplayer part?
I didn't show the multiplayer part.
Why'd you cut away?
What do you mean?
It's at the very end.
Did I? Is it? Oh.
You are just the worst.
I stopped it right at the end.
I know.
Alright. I'll put it back on so you guys can see it right at the end.
You are the worst.
There.
It was like 5 seconds.
Sorry. I didn't think about the multiplayer part. I forgot about it.
Awful.
So, the end part shows. Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta close this door. The end part there showed.
Can you drop that link in chat, by the way?
To the video?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. That was like a jump that basically juked out everyone else, and I jokingly said, and I was being half serious because we talked about it previously on the show, that this is Titanfall 2, right? And I got pissed off because so many people that play Call of Duty was like, fuck Titanfall 2 for multiplayer, talking about the progression or whatever they were going to say. But this is basically the same fucking game. So
yeah.
I am very at odds with anyone that is going to hop on Advanced Warfare and be like, oh my god, this is the best fucking game ever. And I'm be like, what? Come on now.
Where were you?
Where were you when Titanfall was out? Why didn't you keep playing that? You want to be back on this shit. So, I mean, I'm hyped to play it because the movement looks like something that'll be interesting and compelling. And I feel like the thing that really bothers me about a lot of shooters is that it's so much point-click shoot, like straight down the line, that it involves no verticality in play. And this is something we were really hype on for Titanfall for the last, like, 8 months or so that we were talking about it. And so seeing that in the Call of Duty game makes me go, ooh, okay. And I think a lot of people are anxious to see how they pull it off because this looks like it'll be compelling.
The only thing that I haven't seen is I hope that the movement can be strung together. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen lots of, like, individual instances of it. Like, yeah, you can jump really high, or you can use this grapple hook thing, or you can use this jump thing. But if you can't string it together, then it's just, like, not nearly as interesting as, like, Titanfall, for example, where you can string everything together, like, all over the place. And you can do all sorts of crazy things. But CoD in general will be much improved by being able to turn the corner and actually make a play instead of getting killed immediately.
You mean not getting killed immediately? You make a play by sitting in a spot, then hopping maybe 2 centimeters to the right, and then crouching on the ground or going prone, doing your dolphin dive shit, and then killing someone.
Yeah.
But you really only moved
Which
about
really
2 centimeters.
which really never happened because, it's not enough. But if I come around that corner fucking 2 stories above them, it's going to be a lot more hard to react.
Exactly. So, I'm kind of interested to see how it expands. Is the grappling hook in there? They talked about a lot of that exoskeleton. Someone said no Titans, but they do have exoskeletons. And if you guys remember what Respawn said, that exoskeleton that they had, or the Titan, evolved from an exoskeleton. So it was an exoskeleton, and then it emerged into this robotic Titan. So we're seeing their iteration of that as just the exoskeleton and Advanced Warfare. There are a lot of similarities between the Advanced Warfare and Titanfall. There's just no way that the Atlas is in there. That's the name of the company. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there, guys. I mean, and again, I don't know how many people are on YouTube are going to be like, fuck you guys, it's not the same, or Call of Duty's, or some people are even like, fuck you, the movement in Titanfall is so much better, so much more fluid, it's more physics-based. Hey, I agree with you. You don't need to jump down my throat there. All I'm saying is it looks like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is biting a lot off of Titanfall. That's all I'm saying. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, the multiplayer gameplay is something that I will be spending a lot of time in. And this might be, Colin, this might be the first campaign in a Call of Duty I finished since Modern Warfare.
You probably played Modern Warfare 2's campaign.
Nope. I played some of it and then I stopped.
Yeah, I might have done the same.
I just want to see Spacey. That's it. So, I want to end this with a couple quotes for Advanced Warfare.
No.
You guys gotta... Listen, I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. I just want to read them because they're hilarious to me. So this is them talking about Call of Duty. This has the scale and scope of the equivalent of 4 Hollywood movies in it. It has hundreds of hours of multiplayer gameplay. It has full cooperative mode.
What does that mean?
It takes an army of industry vets to create this kind of content.
Well, yeah.
Michael Condrey. Perhaps
So what is hundreds of hours of multiplayer gameplay?
Perhaps the best Call of Duty game ever created. Bobby K.
What does hundreds of hours of multiplayer gameplay mean? What does that even mean?
I just like this has the scale and scope of the equivalent of 4 Hollywood movies. The last game had 3, just like you said, Colin. But this one,
I'm pretty sure they said that.
This one has 4.
Yeah, I think they used that same quote for the last 2 CODs about Hollywood movie comparison.
This is just gold. This is some of the best stuff I've ever seen from a quote about Call of Duty. It has hundreds of hours of multiplayer gameplay. It has full cooperative mode.
What does that even mean?
Not partial cooperative mode. Full cooperative mode.
Oh, man.
I'm actually excited, though. Michael, you got me pumped.
Yeah.
You had the YouTubers at this Call of Duty game. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if T. Martin is throwing him out quick with this one. He's probably on it. This is actually, we're going to see some emergent gameplay in Call of Duty for once. It's going to be nice.
See you on the 8th. That's when the multiplayer reveal is. Then we'll have a much better idea.
Yep. So, the very, very last thing I got, and we can go ahead into questions and stuff. I'm not sure if I can actually show this on the show. So, hold on. Let's do a sign-off.
Show this on the show?
Well, hold on. Let's do a sign-off for the folks on YouTube, because I'm going to cut it off right now. So, for you guys on YouTube, I'm sorry if you're not watching live. You're going to miss the Comic-Con portion of this show, but I got to cut you off. So, this is Arctic and Sky saying toodles.
You follow us on Twitter. There's links to this stuff from earlier this week.